Well, we all know that Madam X, the woman, is a kind of crazy spy with angry political leanings. Madam X, well, she travels the world apparently, lecturing at universities, dancing in discos, whilst also, admirably keeping on top of the home front, doing the laundry, she's making the school lunches. Presumably she's been a whore and an equestrian at separate times. We're not quite sure. Madam X is a tad mad, but way before Madam X, there was the far more intriguing
Mistress Dita,
who, as many Madonna fans will attest, led a sexual awakening for young men and women all over the world. Mistress Dita was naughty and told us that it was fun and very okay to explore unadulterated sexual pleasure. Today we are retro-reviewing the Erotica album, the brilliant piece of work that was completely overshadowed by Madonna's masterful but completely misguided promotion. I've never seen a campaign like it. Possibly Michael Jackson's History album campaign is comparable, the overstatedness of that. But the Erotica onslaught was pretty damned intense, and Mistress Dita certainly underestimated the poison and the power of conservative America. Boy, did they come for her at that time. Felix and Kyle join me for this look at Madonna's fifth studio album and the first released under her own label, Maverick Records. Welcome, Kyle and Felix.
Hello.
So, friends, Erotica was released in 1992, but just the other day I was walking through JB Hi-Fi. That's an Australian record store, and I could just sense in the air that there was something new in this store, something that I wanted. So I just put my nose up into the air and I followed the sweet, sweet scents, and down the aisles I went, past the laptops, via the iPhones, pushed away the pimple-faced assistant with the gel-backed hair, and eventually there it was. The full, large vinyl edition of Erotica, sweet in all its glory, and with a ridiculously expensive price tag attached to it, of course. It wasn't until 2017, my friends, when a Rolling Stone magazine finally described this album as a misunderstood masterpiece. Kyle, why did it take so long for this album to get the credit that it deserves?
Because America wasn't ready for sex at that time. Not saying they are completely now, but America was still dealing with the AIDS epidemic. Homosexuality was still very controversial.
Taboo, yeah.
Women being sexual and owning their sexuality wasn't common. It was only, you only see it in porn, for a woman to actually be sexual, own her sexuality, and to be just so blunt about it. I think that's what really shocked everybody about it.
And Felix, so it wasn't, from what Kyle's saying, and I agree, it wasn't the music that, it wasn't the music, it was everything that was wrapped around this at the time.
Yeah, I was seeing stuff in the tabloids, and like everybody was calling her slut and a whore, and then I heard that people said that she got overexposed, the album and the book, and then Body of Evidence and all of that within a few months.
It was too much for America. That's what, I remember. It's just too much.
We have to remember where she was at that point in her career. Before she released Erotica, she was delighted and finding it entirely delicious to cause controversy. S&M and gay culture and, like you said, females taking power and control. I mean, Penthouse and Playboy magazine were big at that time. Hustler magazine, all those magazines were big and fairly accepted. They had their place. But Madonna brought it into the mainstream and it was not accepted by the public at all.
I was in 10th grade and I remember hearing about the album and the book, and like I went and bought the album. I got it on tape like the day it came out, and I listened to it over and over for like weeks. And
I remember the music videos because I, of course, wasn't able to get the album. It was way too graphic for me. But I remember MTV was actually showing music videos back then, and Deeper and Deeper, Bad Girl, Fever, Rain were all heavily rotated. So unfortunately, by 9, I knew all the lyrics to Bad Girl. And I just remember Deeper and Deeper for me. that track, I mean, I'm sure we'll get to that, but I mean, I'm sure every gay boy in America and, you know, lesbian female has some kind of deep connection to that song.
We are going to do a track by track, and it's funny you mentioned Deeper and Deeper because absolutely it's a stunning Madonna anthem, really, especially from her disco catalogue. But funnily enough, I personally think it doesn't quite fit into the Erotica project, I suppose. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't take it out, I wouldn't change it, don't hang me, people listening, I wouldn't touch it, I really wouldn't. I love it to bits. It's just that the Erotica album is such a project. It's a piece of art, really, and the mood that it sets and the tone that it
raw.
sets. Yeah, it's so raw, exactly. And Deeper and Deeper sits in there as this polished piece of discotheque right in the center of it. And again, I wouldn't take it out because I love the diversion in the middle of the album, actually. And maybe that was the intention, who knows? But the rest of the album is a different journey altogether.
It's like, unfortunately, like in the 2000s, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian got famous for doing hardcore porn.
Yes.
Madonna still, like they were calling her a whore and she had AIDS. Madonna was doing all these pornographic stuff, but she was able to keep it classy. Like there's still, you know, there's class to what she did.
Now, Kyle, I have to take issue with that. I really do, because as a guy who, like both of you, I was young at the time, and getting my hands on the sex book was difficult to say the least. And there is a huge story, which I'm not going to bore the listeners with, about how I managed to get my hands on my sealed copy. It involved, you know, passing bribes and getting older people to walk into the shop for me, with me standing outside with my fingers twiddling with excitement. However, I cannot agree that the sex book was all class. If you want to compare it to the Kardashians or a sex tape, sure, okay, it's got more class than that. But there wasn't anything too subtle about the whole promotion around Erotica, particularly the sex book. I mean, it was outrageous. She squatted over a hand mirror on one of the pages, Kyle. How has that got
That's
class?
one of my favorite pictures. I own the book too. I love it. She made, because I don't know, see, that's the thing. I grew up with this book, and by the time I was hitting puberty, this is my favorite album. And I've seen the books, I've seen the movie. I mean, I'm a sexual person. I'm very comfortable with my sexuality, and I have fun with it, and I don't think it has to be serious all the time. And that's the thing too. It wasn't serious. For God's sake, she's, you know, one of the famous pictures, she's hitchhiking naked down the street in Miami.
Yeah. Exactly. And I love it. I think it's fantastic as a piece of irony, and the humor in it and the boundaries that it pushed. I think it's fantastic. I love the piece of work, but I just wouldn't describe it as classy. That's all. It's interesting, Felix, isn't it, to talk about this era, because this is a retro review of the Erotica album, but you cannot. It's impossible to separate talking about this album without going through what we're doing now. Yeah, the sex book, the whole package that came around it, because she deliberately, body of evidence, sex book, the Erotica film clip, the outrageous interviews at the time, by the way. She went on, like, I think it was Larry King or one of those. Anyway, she was doing many interviews at the time where she was raised voice screaming at America that she will touch herself when she wants, and sex shouldn't be hidden and made taboo. It's impossible to talk about this music without that.
That's one of the things I always loved about her, though, is because she was so open about it, and will try to open people's eyes and people's minds to not be so uptight and
Absolutely. I mean, she really, on one hand, we can talk about how middle America came for her and came at her during this period, and they did. However, this was the period where her fans, I think it cemented their loyalty to her at that time as well. In retrospect, it's easy to say that it was a wonderful era, but it was actually a scary era as a fan too, because truly, I don't know if other people listening will agree with this, it really felt like she had gone too far this time and that she was over. And I think that that's evidenced by the fact that there was a massive gap after Erotica, and then she even had to come back with an apology album. And she can say it's not, and Human Nature is the song that says she's not apologizing, but Bedtime Stories was an apology album. She even said sorry on the Girly Show in Australia. She actually apologised subtly, but there was an apology. Even she knew she went too far at that time. And for fans, it was scary because I really did think she's gone, and especially the absence that followed Erotica, where she was obviously told or instinctively knew she had to withdraw massively, and she did. She was gone for quite a long time after that. She went very quiet.
Well, like people acted like she had lost her mind or something.
Mm.
I mean, with the Immaculate Collection, though, she did kind of give us a hint of where she was going musically with Rescue Me and Justify My Love. But I think they thought Justify My Love was just a one-hit thing. Oh, okay, she's wild, she's crazy, made a lot of money off the VHS sales. But yeah, just everything just so sexualized with the Erotica album, the book, the movie. Yeah, it was just it shocked at the world.
That's what I always talk about, Kyle, with her business acumen, like exactly what you just said. She released the Immaculate Collection. She found it delightful, the controversy about the Justify My Love video. That exactly, as you said, sowed the seed. Oh wow, this is the button that I want to push now. So she came out full-fledged with it with Erotica. But like I say, was it a misstep? I mean, as it turns out, it was a wonderful era because she survived it and she became a much more brilliant artist because of it. But let's swing this back around. Let's talk about the music because it's so overlooked. I said in the intro, isn't it a shame it took so long for this music to be recognised? And our conversation is just the proof of why it was overlooked because there was so much storm and controversy at the time. But the actual album itself was like a little blip compared to the sex book and the interviews. And, you know, I remember there was a poll at the time that 95% of Americans said they wouldn't cross the road to pee on Madonna if she was on fire. It was just a vicious period.
The world hated her then.
They did. They hated her. Even my family, who knew that I sort of liked Madonna, I wasn't a massive fan until Erotica, funnily enough. That's when I was one of those ones who it cemented my loyalty. But even my family was saying, oh, look, she's just going way too far. And even, I think it was my dad who said, I don't want to hear this woman anymore. I don't want to hear. He's not even conservative, but she was just everywhere. It was publicity overload. So not only did you have the message was controversial, but the oversaturation was also a problem for people because you couldn't open a magazine. Don't forget, before the internet, all of this. So every magazine, every newspaper, every TV show, every news bulletin even had something about Madonna, and people were literally just, the average Joe was saying, shut up, just shut up. She went too far. Let's talk about the music though. Kyle, what do you make of this album just as a whole? We're going to go through track by track. Describe this album. What does it mean to you, and how do you rate it?
It's my favorite album of all time. It's the one album I can put on from beginning to end every time I listen to it. It's got so many different styles of music. It was way ahead of its time, from trance to house to hip hop to trip hop. It's a liberating album for me. It's got so many, each song has its own meaning to me. I love it. It's just, I'm glad it's finally getting the respect and credit that it's due.
When it came out, I was just starting to accept myself, and I was starting to tell friends of mine that I was gay, and it was liberating for me too. And I used to listen to it all the time, and I still listen to it all the time.
This is such a common story, though, Felix, isn't it? Like, I can't believe how many people have said to me, or that I've read, that this album seemed to intersect with their own journey of sexuality. That's incredible. How many people have that same similar story? Incredible.
I think, that's why Deeper and Deeper belongs with the album, because for so many of the LGBTQ, that song means so much lyrically, because I got the lyrics early on, and it was just something like, it's an anthem.
For me, this album it's so dark and brooding. Like, after Like a Prayer and the Blonde Ambition tour, which is were theatrical and brilliant, but light and colourful, really, even though they had some darker themes around religion, and sex was a theme, of course. But when I first listened to this album, and when I put the CD in the tray, because I actually got this one on CD, I did like it from the beginning, but I wasn't taken with it the same way that I was with all her other music, which is typical Madonna. Every move she makes is fresh and new and takes you to a new place. I just remember thinking that this was so dark and brooding and sexual and mysterious. When I put it in to the CD player and turned it on, I felt like I was walking into a dark tunnel that I wasn't allowed to go. By the way, what I love about this album, and I didn't realize till years later, that they were deliberately produced in like a polished demo format, so that you've got that rough edge and that vinyl feel to the whole thing, which at the beginning of the first track, Erotica, you can even hear the needle going onto the record. It is incredibly moody, and as a cohesive piece of work, it's genius. I encourage people to put it in and listen to it from start to finish. It takes you on a journey.
So it did debut at number 2 in America with just 167,000 sold. It did go double platinum, but by 2016 it sold 2 million in the US. It didn't really chart very much at all in any region of the world. I know in I want to say Finland and Norwegian, it was very, very peaked at 2023.
Yeah.
There's also, it charted number 1 in Finnish, French, European Top 100, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it was the beginning of that little trend that Madonna has, where her album, when it was first released, because of her fan base, goes quite high. So the peak positions don't tell the story of Erotica, I don't think.
Yeah, a lot of people call that her first flop album.
Yes, can you believe it? Yeah. Can you believe you're so right, Felix. It is Erotica at the time and for years afterwards was described as a flop. Madonna's first failure.
Well,
I didn't see it like that.
Yeah, right? It was never a failure to me, but then again, I mean, I was probably 12 by the time I actually got the album, so...
The lowest point of Erotica era for me is the fact that Vanilla Rice was associated with it at all. That's the only problem I've got with the Erotica era.
I mean, he was cute at the time, so I mean, I'm not knocking it.
Yeah, he was still a tool. Let's go through track by track here. The title track, Erotica, which it's fascinating to me now because at the time I don't think I knew it, but because of the age of the internet, I now know there are various incarnations of this song. There were so many different versions of it, I think, before they landed on this particular one that was released. Was this the right choice for a first single from the Erotica album?
I think so. It peaked at number 1.
I heard it in clubs all the time when it came out.
I've got to say, Erotica, for the group of friends I was with at the time, the favourite part of that was when, she comes to using the F word and it's actually blanked out. I know it's so usual to us now and we all know it. It's part of our Madonna DNA. But at the time, it was just genius. She had the word truck and then she goes, and it was just so much humour in the fact, and a bit of scandal in the fact that she was going to use the F word in a mainstream pop song, but just blanks it out with that groan. It's incredibly smart. It's so clever in terms of creating pop music. That's such a clever masterstroke, in my opinion.
That groan didn't leave you any doubt of what she was going to say, though.
No, exactly. Have you heard some of the other versions of this song since?
Oh God, yeah. I've heard hundreds.
Oh yeah.
Well, one was called "Love Hurts."
Yes, I love that.
"Love Hurts," and I've heard that. Yeah, "You Thrill Me," which she did in the Confessions tour.
The sex book contained erotic.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. In the back, thank you, Kyle. In the back of the sex book, there was a CD with a slightly different. I was always fascinated that this single was slightly different to the one that I was used to from the video clip, and I think from the album as well.
William Orbit used the vocals from that version on his mix.
Ah, right.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
The remixes from this album are hands down the best. I have to say that.
Yes.
Those Masters at Work club remixes, classic.
Like Kyle says, the age of the remix. This era was the age of the remix. The Erotica video.
I love the whole Dita look with the puppet and the hair and the nails. That look is iconic in my eyes.
The gold tooth.
Yeah.
And see, this is what I mean by classy. There is some classy elements to Erotica in the sex book with, to me, the lesbian BDSM scene and some of the swimming. Not every picture is so vulgar or a joke.
No,
To me, there was some
I saw
fun.
there was one picture of her with the really long hair, and she was wearing a bathing suit, and she was like
Yeah.
leaning against a pole. Yeah.
And the Erotica video is essentially a collection of the behind-the-scenes making of the sex book, isn't it? Essentially, there's
Yeah.
lots of shots of that.
Pretty much.
But I just,
They're on the beach.
I love the way it was shot too. I think it's been done a lot since then, but just the graininess of it added to that whole mystery and the forbiddenness of this era. I thought the way it was shot. So yes, okay, I will concede that one, Carl. There was a bit of class around the way the Erotica video was produced. I have to say it was a slick piece of work. It was just wonderful. We move into track 2 of the Erotica album, Fever, which apparently was the last track recorded, and it was sort of an accidental discovery because they were having trouble with another song. And
well, she was doing Goodbye to Innocence. And then she started singing Fever over that. You know, there's versions of it where she's like doing parts of both songs.
It was different because it was probably the first real kind of, to me, it's like a straight up house track. But I was used to the music video version, which is a lot more remix, a lot more clubby, more upbeat. It's not as like sultry and seductive as the album version, but I think it's a great track. It's the best, it's the best track to go after Erotica. And it definitely shows in the girly show too, just how wonderfully those two songs go together, and the way she performed it live was amazing as well.
Wasn't it ever? It was fantastic. Did it come straight out after Erotica? Was it the second single?
No, it was after Bad Girl. After Bad Girl, because in the US, Bad Girl had remixes of Fever on the maxi.
And again, for Madonna community, Fever is just a Madonna track, but we overlook the audacity to take a song like Fever, which belongs so firmly in another genre, which Madonna in some ways shouldn't be allowed to touch, to take that and to add her flavor and make it a pop track. There's an audacity to that, a creative genius to it too. And these are the little moments where if you're a Madonna fan and you want to evidence that she actually is more than just a product, she's a very musical person. Fever is one of those examples. To actually do what she did is bold, to say the least. I love the video. I was a bit confused, but the video is so 90s, isn't it? Like the way it's filmed, if you actually watch it, it's just so 90s.
Like 90s pop art. Like
yes. Those Speedos, though. I was a little too young.
What's going on with the silver stuff, by the way? What is that? I'm still to this day still don't get the silver thing. What is that?
I thought it was cool. I thought it looked good too. I mean, I like silver and I like gold, and the red. It was a weird. I think it was more a club-inspired video. Wouldn't you say, Felix? Because you were going to the club. It was more like a club. She
wanted it to be played in clubs.
And for that the Fever 2 LP red remixes vinyl, that's one of my favorite items I own. Those remixes, like I said, the remixes off this album are the best.
Yeah.
There's also a live version of Fever, and it's one of those moments where you see Madonna drop the ball, and she forgets the lyrics a little bit. But I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
that was on Arsenio Hall.
Yes, that's right. I love, because I love Madonna the person so much too. I love two things about that moment: the professionalism of the way she pushes through and actually makes it a moment, but also because I know her, or I feel like I know her quite well, the excruciating moment for her as a person, because she's such a perfectionist.
Didn't she perform it on Saturday Night Live as well with Bad Girl?
Yeah.
I think she did a song with Anthony Kiedis on the same episode of the show, the Arsenio Show Hall, right?
Yeah.
Or is that okay?
They did The Lady is a Tramp.
Yes. That was a good performance.
Yeah.
Before we move into some other tracks, Kyle, tell us a little bit about the producers on this album, because they often get overlooked, but this is a bit of a combination of some of the best for the Erotica album.
Well, there's two producers on it. There's Shep Pettibone. Shep Pettibone started off as a DJ on 98.7 Kiss FM. He got popular doing remixes in the 80s.
Yeah.
I grew up on new wave and got gifted a bunch of 12 inches in any big name pop act.
Yeah, he
that
worked
had
with
remixes.
everybody.
Yeah,
He
George
worked with everybody.
Michael, like anybody, like I'm sure Paula Abdul, like any pop star that wanted remixes went to Shep.
He is a
And
supreme
Madonna,
talent, though, isn't he? Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
incredible.
That was his best work, though.
He was the first person that inspired me to like get into like remixing and stuff.
Because I felt like before that, remixes were just more like extended cuts.
Extended versions of the original.
Remixed them.
Yeah.
And he remixed Express Yourself, and he also produced Rescue Me's and Vogue. So I mean,
And Vogue, yeah.
So,
yeah, Used to Be My Playground, I think, was his.
Yeah.
Yes, that too. That was a great, yeah. That song always reminds me of this. To me, that song belongs in this era. That's what I was wondering, because if you really think about it, honestly, I don't recall really ever hearing much of Shep Pettibone after that. I don't know if maybe the album, because, you know, how you said the album definitely was kind of considered a low point, and she got so much backlash.
Yeah.
I wonder if Pettibone got backlash from the album as well.
Yeah, that's a fascinating question. It would be great to talk to him, but I know that your dream, Kyle, is for Shep to come back on board at some stage, and I think that's a dream of many fans. I'd love to see that. Track 3 on this album was Bye Bye Baby. I'll tell you what, the lyrics that stand out to this, first of all, when I think of this song, straight away I go to the Girly Show performance, because just sort of, it's so symbolic of this song. And I know I love you because I hate you. I love that lyric. I think it's, you know, it's the epitome of this song. I know I love you because I hate you. It's so well placed.
I think that's the first time I've seen women dressed as men. So for me, it was something, it definitely is stuck in my mind, because it's the first time I've seen a female dress up as a masculine male and act that dominating character that she played.
Now, didn't she also release this song, and the video clip was from the Australian Girly Show?
There was a CD single with like a few remixes on it. Because I had that, but it was import, and there's like 6 or 7 mixes on it. And they're all really like short.
It's funny, your recollections,
like 5 minutes.
As American fans, your recollections of it, you know, this didn't have much of a release. Here in Australia, my recollection is, I think it was a proper full-blown release, probably because there was a Australian tour edition of the Erotica album, so possibly this was pushed quite hard to push for sales of the album. But yeah, a great track.
It was the first time going over there. Yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't released in the United States. It was the 6th and final single, but yeah, it was definitely released in Europe and Australia, but not here.
It took me a while to find the single. Like they only sold it at certain stores.
Oh, it's an item in America to have the actual CD single, or give it the remixes.
Right. So those listening, if you've got a copy of this CD single, you've got a bit of a collector's item on your hands by the sound of it. Is it one of the better tracks on the album?
It's one of my favorites.
I like it. It's a good song, but it's definitely not one of my favorites.
As we track our journey through the Erotica album, we move from Bye Bye Baby into where I said before, a bit of a segue for me in the album, Deeper and Deeper, but absolutely no contest. It is a Madonna classic, Deeper and Deeper, and clearly, Kyle, this is right up your alley.
Yeah, I mean, because lyrically, it's almost a song about coming out and accepting your sexuality.
Do you think that's what it's about? Like, what makes it? This is the first time I've heard that, to be honest, which is probably ignorant of me. But
I heard that's what it's about.
Yeah,
a young guy trying to accept his sexuality and coming out,
the
and
family issues, like
like Daddy couldn't be all wrong. Mama made me learn this song.
There's also that last little Vogue little thing she does at the end, which is like it's kind of like a sequel to Vogue in a way.
Now,
Me.
self-referencing, Kyle, was something that I'd never seen done. I was already a huge fan of pop by the stage Erotica came out. But when I heard that throwback, because the Immaculate Collection, before Erotica, the Immaculate Collection was on high rotation for me. And don't forget that this was the era where you had an album, you played it repeatedly because there was no Spotify. You just loved the CDs you could afford. So for me to hear that self-reference at the end of Deeper and Deeper to Vogue, chilling, like goosebumps up and down the arms. I thought that is so clever. I loved it.
Same here. The first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh my god, this is crazy." But yeah, no, the lyrics. It's just it's about never gonna hide it again. You're never gonna hide your sexuality again. It's like going to your first gay club, to a disco, and finding.
I was already going to gay clubs then.
I know. I'm so jealous of you being able to club at this time.
Good on you guys for giving me a new context to this song. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it now. But how does the video then add up to that?
There's a lot. It's about like, what's the guy's name? I can't remember the actor's name. He was in the Sex Book.
Yes, he's
he
creepy.
Plays like this hypnotist thing and the whole disco theme and the afro. And isn't Debbie Mazar in the video?
Yeah. I mean, they've been friends forever.
Yeah, the whole banana eating while the guy's stripping. I thought it was hilarious. It was a great video. It's definitely, and it's a,
they were eating banana while they were watching the stripper.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. It was a great video. Like, that's the one I remember the most being played in America consistently, other than Rain. I'd say Rain after that, then Bad Girl, then Fever.
A lot of people said at the time that it was much more a Kylie type of track than a Madonna type of track as well. Here in Australia, a lot of people were saying that because, it's so much more light than what Madonna was known for at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Kylie didn't get much the respect or play that she does deserve in America, but I still love her.
Yeah, I love her too.
Let's talk about track 5, Where Life Begins. Now, for me, this is... on a personal level, this is a really difficult track because on one hand, it's really very immature and very silly, but at the same time, I just can't get over how genius the lyrics are. They are so cool. I think this is what Sexercise
should experience eating out.
Sexercise from Kylie Minogue. I think that this is what she was trying to achieve. Lots of double entendres and hinting at what it is, and Sexercise did not achieve it, but I think Madonna achieves it so well here. Let me just take you through some of the lyrics. Because obviously it's about, for those who don't know, and if you're a Madonna fan listening, of course you do know, but Where Life Begins is about oral sex, particularly female oral sex, and that females should enjoy this. So listen to this. What could be better than a home-cooked meal? How you want to eat it depends on how you feel. You can eat all you want and you don't get fat. Now, where else can you go for a meal like that? Come on, every girl should experience eating out. That's not so subtle. Sometimes when I come home from a hard day at work, I swear it's all I can think about. This is an audacious song, even for nowadays.
I like the track. It was good. Actually, it almost lost me the album because my dad walked in, heard the lyrics. I wasn't really paying attention. Like I said, I was like 12 when I finally got the album. And he's like, wait, what is this? And read the lyrics. And he's like, you should be lucky I'm letting you keep this. And then I read the lyrics and I was like, oh, okay.
Well,
you're looking good.
You know what? My dad, when Truth or Dare came out on VHS, I bought it like 3 times. He took it away from me every time I got it because he didn't like the scenes with the gay dancers. And,
oh, wow.
Like he was very homophobic and
yeah, that's the thing is like we have to remember too is like this is 92, 93. Like Madonna was one of the few people promoting homosexuality and expressing your sexuality. Stop denying yourself, be proud of who you are, express yourself. So I mean, that's the thing. There was no things got better for us back then. Things weren't as easy as they are for the LGBTQ youth today.
If kids went through what we went through back then.
Oh yeah, it was not a piece of cake. It was not. They were dark times, and like the AIDS was scary. AIDS was a destiny still.
Yeah,
I have a gay friend who said that they did not know what Where Life Begins was about for years. He said, and his explanation is that because he was a gay man, or is a gay man, that this didn't resonate with him at all, so he didn't pick up the double meaning. Did both of you get what this song meant from the beginning?
I mean,
I'm gay and I knew.
I mean, once my dad pointed it out, I mean, I kind of started putting two and two together just because.
I love that story, Kyle. You're just there sort of, I imagine you scribbling on, a piece of art paper, doing art, listening to this in the background, and he walks in and your dad gets the song, but you don't.
Yeah, that is exactly how it went down. I'm like, And what I forgot to mention earlier, this is the second producer, Andre Betts, or Beats. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name, because honestly, I haven't been able to find anything really about him. Even before doing the interview, like, I've wanted to see what other type of work he's done. He was a co-producer on Justify My Love, but other than that, I've never really heard any other work he's done outside
Madonna fans listening to this, I'm going to set you all a mission. Find Andre Betts and send him to me. I want to interview him. I want to find out his stories about working with for Madonna.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but I've heard he's got some funny stories because he would have like his friends in the studio, and we'll talk a little bit more about it later because it's the topic of one of the songs.
Ah, okay. Intriguing. I like that. Number 6, Bad Girl. I've never really liked this song. I know it's a fan favorite, so that's controversial to say. There's just something about the melody that just doesn't appeal to me. The video clip didn't really appeal to me, although she looked sensational in it, I have to say. What do we make of Bad Girl?
That was one of my favorite songs.
Yeah. It's my favorite, probably Madonna ballad, or at least top 2, top 3. I think it's produced great. She sounds great. I love that she brings that. I think it's a topic that's not really ever. It's the kind of topic you want to think of as like a pop ballad or a pop song.
She comes home from work. She drinks, smokes a bunch of cigarettes, and like says she's not happy.
She's promiscuous. It's about she's cheating on. The song is about cheating on a boyfriend, being promiscuous, being miserable and unhappy in the relationship she's in, but not knowing how to get out of it. So continue to excessively drink, smoke, and sleep with other people. I
remember the guy that kills her at the end of the video. Like he, yeah.
She dies in the end of this video?
He's her guardian angel.
Yeah, you haven't seen the video? The video is about like a serial rapist murderer, and she plays like a CEO.
Really? I've seen it. How have I missed this? What is wrong with me?
Oh my gosh, because the video is kind of funny because she plays this like high-powered businesswoman, which she is. So it's kind of like a what's the right?
But then she's got a scandalous side after she gets out of work.
Yeah. But then she's unhappy and crying in her champagne at home alone. And Christopher Walken plays her guardian angel. And they have a little scene. It's cute. Yeah, if you haven't seen the video after this interview, you should go watch it.
I've definitely seen the video. I'm so stupid. I've never picked that meaning up.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
And I certainly didn't know she dies in the end of it. There you go.
Oh, yeah, she gets murdered. And
I look forward to going and watching that one again.
She's the only thing I'm upset about is she's only performed this once, and it was on Saturday Night Live. She's never performed it again. She
sounded good when she did it live.
Yeah, she looked amazing on that
just
show.
Forgot about it.
I know, and I'm like, why? It's such a great song.
Track 7 is Waiting on the Erotica album. What do we make of this one? Waiting. It's such a song of yearning, isn't it? This one.
I love her vocals. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. I love that song. And it's more of a hip hop track, hip hop influence track, but it's just so good. I just love it.
I remember I had like these few black girlfriends in high school, and they used to love that song. I used to like take my headphones and dance to it, and like
there's a part towards the end of a song where she sort of breaks it down, and I love that part too. All of the songs on Erotica are constructed so bloody well, I have to say. Like there's bridges, and then they take unexpected turns in many ways. So the actual construction of the songs themselves are amazing in nearly every case. And Waiting is like just when you think you know where the song is, she breaks it down. At the end.
A lot of people a lot of people saw it like as a sequel to like Justify My Love,
Ah,
because she says waiting for you,
yeah,
like she doesn't Justify My Love.
yeah. Possibly you're right.
I didn't
Yeah,
know that. Yeah, I never thought about that when I heard that, but it's a great track.
just something so ominous and yearning about it. Thief of Hearts. Now, this is interesting. I might be the only person on the planet, but when She's Not Me came out years later, or was on the album years later, I couldn't help but think that was the sequel of
Hearts.
I couldn't help but think that was the sequel to Thief of Hearts because they've got the same sort of theme.
Think of that too.
Yeah. What do we make of Thief of Hearts?
I love it. Right? It's a straight club banger. It's great. It's one of my favorites. I mean, it's great 90s house. That's what I love about it.
I wish it had gotten a video.
Yeah, the video could have been amazing, actually. I can picture that in my head. I love the smashing glass at the beginning. You know, I suppose using the word bitch, I suppose, is the other association with She's Not Me. Maybe that's part of why my brain went from that to that. But they're both the same sort of thing, isn't it? So it's like a jealous rage at another woman.
Well, like, yeah, she was mad because some other girl was after her boyfriend.
And what about the little? Could you call that a rap, Kyle? In the middle of it, is that a rap?
You'll do it. You'll take it. You'll screw it. You'll fake it.
Yeah.
No, to me, it's not a rap. To me, it's
not quite.
More just like a bridge.
It's cool though. I love it.
What I do love about this is for some waiting, Thief of Hearts, and Words. For me, those 3 tracks just flow together. It gives the album this kind of like different, like pick me up vibe from the rest, which I think was needed at that point in the album. And Thief of Hearts is perfect.
She was she was saying, "I'm ready to kick your ass."
Yeah, exactly. That's too. And I'm like,
my only problem with this song is, and it's a very important problem, is that when I'm listening to it in the car, I often have to look in the rear vision mirror because when the sirens come on, I think, am I actually being pulled over here? Still, I know the song so well, but those sirens are, because the way that it's produced, and this is no joke, the way it's produced, the sirens come from left to right, it's just so realistic. Goes to just how well the production values were on this album. And I think, Kyle, you just mentioned that they're track 9 Words. These 3 songs just, in fact, the ordering of the whole album, but particularly tracks 7, 8, and 9, beautiful. So Thief of Hearts moving into Words, perfect.
Love this song too. It's kind of got like a nice little trance feel. I love it. And there's a demo floating around that I finally heard, the full demo. I wish she would have released it as like an alternate mix because it's a little bit, it's different, but it's like you said, there's so many versions of these songs out there that are like demos that are just, I'm hoping for like a 30th, anniversary where you can get hands on all these demos, but who knows if that'll happen. Wishful thinking about this song.
Well, that's one of my favorites. I like how she talks about how she feels about the paparazzi and how they treat her. And
you guys are awesome. You're making me think of a lot of these songs in a completely different way. Now that I'm thinking of Words through the lens of, her paparazzi experience, that makes more sense than what I thought. I was just more thinking about, because of Thief of Hearts, where that sets you up and moving into Words, I'm thinking more around the relationship, and maybe it's like the story of Thief of Hearts continuing, but you're right. It could actually be about reading stuff in the paparazzi, which, as we know, it really, really hurts her to the point where she tries desperately not to read it now.
Now she avoids it.
She does altogether. Can we talk about Rain? Rain was in the middle of a controversial era, and we talked at the beginning about how the world turned its back on Madonna and was sick of her and wished she'd shut up, all of that sort of stuff.
But
then Rain comes along. It was so popular, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
Huge, and just
heard it everywhere.
Exactly, mainstream radio. It was everywhere.
MTV played the hell out of it,
Yeah, they did. I remember that haircut because that was the first time I was like, "What did she do?" I'm not gonna lie. It's just for some reason I love Madonna with her long, beautiful locks. But I'm not saying she didn't look beautiful like always, but I just wasn't a fan of that black short haircut. But I see why she did it, as with the.
Well, I mean, it was a wig. She wore a wig. She wore a
I
wig.
didn't know that. I thought it was a haircut. Because I thought it was around the time she was doing Girly Show. Because she definitely cut her hair short for the Girly Show for that.
Well, you
What's the word?
you know why she cut her hair like that, right?
What's
It
the
was
word I'm looking
because of
for?
she said it was for the Fever video, the way they colored her hair. Like when she went to dye it back to blonde, she said it was like falling out in chunks.
Wow.
So that's why she cut it off.
Wow.
Hey,
Did not know
yeah,
that.
I've never heard that before. Yeah, thanks for the info. Learn something new every day.
She looked like a pixie in Rain. And the video, you talked about Class before. Here's another moment. I'll put up my hand, Cole. Yep, this was a video clip of Class. But also because
Rain is also. Have you heard what Rain's about? Right.
From Where Life Begins.
Got a sexual undertone about orgasm.
Well, she mentions it in Where Life Begins. I'm glad you brought your raincoat. So whenever I listen to Rain, I can't get the crude meaning out of my head. It's like a deluge here. I also can't think of Rain without thinking of I'll Remember as well. I don't know why. They come out close?
Well, she had the same kind of hairstyle then for that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that was
on the cover, they used a picture from the Rain video with her with the short wig.
Rain is one of the best singles to have as well because, like you said earlier, for fans, if you haven't heard Goodbye to Innocence, you definitely need to. But there's a remix of Goodbye to Innocence called the Up Down Suite. That's amazing. So that single was also
12 minutes. 12 minutes. It's a workout. If you try to dance to it.
Right.
Now, have you both heard the Donna Delore and Nikki Harris version of this?
But it sounded better when it was all three of them.
How good was the Girly Show version of this? Just my imagination worked into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it so hard is track 11. Why is it so hard?
This one of my favorites.
This is a call to arms to her fans is the way I always read it. And is that way you see it as well?
Well, the lyrics are still like relevant now. You know, like why is it so hard to love one another? Why is it so hard to, you know, share happiness? And
musically it was a little different because it has that more reggae vibe. This is probably my least favorite track of the album, to be honest. But I mean, it's still a good song, and she performed it live on the tour. It was great. But
I wish she would do it again.
I mean, it's like you said, though, it's still very relevant, and she's still preaching about the same things because, unfortunately, the world still does a lot of
hasn't changed much.
Yeah, it hasn't changed much. Yeah,
I'll tell you what, Carl. Again another one of those perspective things. Getting so much from both of you today, but why is it so hard? I mean, she might want to play this song when she reads social media half the time because her fan community is infighting so much. This could be the anthem to that.
Oh my God! Yes, it's funny to me. It's just I
can't think of why is it so hard without. It's where one track on the Girly Show DVD merges into this song, right? And there's an orgy scene happening on the scene, and there are hands everywhere as this song begins. It's incredibly out there.
Hey, I mean, at least they're having a great time and working at the same time. Can't complain then.
In This Life is a track written about a friend, apparently, and it's very literal. Madonna often does, songs where you have to interpret her lyrics, or they refer, or they want she's implying something. This song's quite a literal song.
It was about two friends, Martin Burgoyne and Keith Haring and Christopher Flynn, all three of them, really.
When I really listening to the song and really getting its depth and meaning, it really definitely it was emotional for me.
It is an emotional song,
no one who on an album talks, and like you said, but that's the thing about this album that I love and why I love the Girly Show, because the Girly Show is like a circus in a way. It's in that the album is.
It was.
The album has it's life, it's sex, it's death. In the same album she's talking about getting off, but then the same album she's talking about dying of AIDS. So I mean, but it was very touching because it was very, this is someone that's standing up for something that was, people are still
hardly anybody talked about it. Hardly
Yeah.
anybody talked about AIDS back then.
Yes.
Yeah, it was not, and it was still very much that gay
It was
disease.
taboo.
Mhm.
Taboo.
Mhm.
Did You Do It was not featured on every version of the album. And in fact,
Nope.
does it feature Madonna at all on that track?
Well, it just says waiting for you.
just
That's the only part.
Aha.
That's the only part.
this was the song I was talking about. So the reason she threw this song in, and the reason is it's on the explicit version. Which when I got the version, I got the what do you call
standard.
it? The standard
The standard version.
So I didn't have this song until I actually bought it again, like 7 years later. But Andre and Madonna wrote this song because he kept having his friends come to the studio, and they were rappers and normal guys, and like, oh, you're working with Madonna on a sex album. Wait, so tell us about it. You're fucking her, and he's like, no, and they're like, what? You're lying. You gotta be fucking her, and he's like, no, like this is my boss. I'm working. And they just couldn't believe the fact that this woman who's so sexually, active and acts promiscuous in characters and stuff, that she's actually there just working and not sleeping around with everybody.
Wow. So
that's why and it's about that culture too of like, what do you mean you didn't have sex with her? You're not a man. Like it's kind of, there's a straight masculinity that some guys have that's just super like, you have to be dominant. You have to be the man. You got to sleep with the hot chicks, and you got to be single because who wants to get settled down? You got to get all the pussy in the world. And it's Madonna's kind of like, fuck you to that bullshit. Like, whatever. She's waiting for men to grow up.
Wow. Now, for Madonna fans, in case you didn't realize, there is a track that is an ode to Madonna's vagina. And here it is, track 14, Secret Garden. Apparently that's what it is. Have you heard that?
I mean, yeah, but then I forget about it because this is my favorite album closer that she's done. Probably next to maybe like Falling Free or Easy Ride. I think it's I love this track. It's got this.
Yeah, me too.
It's got this jazzy, like lounge trip hop feel to it. That it's just
it takes you to another place, makes you think like you're like in like some crazy dream, or like
I don't know, like it's chill out, kind of like almost like an after sex kind of song, like where you feel good, just want to lay back, have a drink, smoke a cigarette. You've had a wild ride, you want to relax now. So I think it's a great closer.
To round it off with Secret Garden, because it's filthy and beautiful at the same time.
Yes, exactly, and that's like that's what I miss about albums these days, because the packaging too. Like it's just there's like with the concept album, you got the whole concept because you actually had to go buy the album, unwrap it, open it up. You had the pictures. Some of them were pictures that were trimmed down from Erotica. There were a couple that were outtakes from, or not Erotica, I'm sorry, the sex book, and there's a couple that were outtakes as well. Her being tied up on a coffee table. I know that when I saw that, I was like, wow, she's gagged and tied up on a coffee table. So I mean, that was shocking for me when I first saw it. I love the picture. I love the look too. The look has that scratchy grittiness of that sound of the album, and also kind of that metallic of like that metal used for the sex book. So I love the look, like the whole, and then the toe sucking thing. Oh, it was funny. It was great.
Let's round this off. So the Erotica album, you've both stated it's among your favourite. Kyle, I think you said it is your favourite Madonna album. For me, it's certainly, in the top two. I love it. I can never get sick of listening to this. I put it on when I want to get into a certain type of mood, I suppose. Its legacy for me, I'm sure that it influenced, she'd hate me saying this, but Janet Jackson's Velvet Rope, I swear, must have been influenced by this album. Has to be.
Well, I remember she wanted to do a song Throb, but then Janet used that instead, right. So she dropped it.
Right, okay. So where does this stand in her catalogue of work, though? Where does it stand? Is it a forgotten gem? The fans, like the newer fans actually know about this?
Love it still. Fans love it still.
Yeah, it's finally getting the respect and
From the
Like, I think
mainstream
yeah.
public.
Oh yeah, from mainstream pop because it's always been a fan favorite. But the good thing is that now that it's getting the mainstream back, like or acceptance, and like mainstream's been like, oh, we were wrong. This was ahead of its time. It's good to see that she's finally gone back to some of those tracks and is willing to perform them again. Because for a while after that, she didn't even want to talk about erotica, and it still seems like it's a sore subject to her to actually get into fully. Because I feel like I've always wanted to ask her in-depth questions about the process of the album. How does she actually feel about it today? But she kind of like gives like really short answers and doesn't really go into depth. But maybe that's just how she feels about it. She's like, hey, at the end of the day, I put my clothes on and did what I did.
Just because how can she not be so proud of this work? But her silence suggests that maybe she isn't. I don't know. And the lack of performance of it on tours.
It was just because no pop star had ever pushed the boundaries.
Nobody had ever done that before.
Because she was like, you guys want me? You guys want to see me? Like, here you go. And, you know, she was like, she learned you can't talk about your sexual fantasies to the public and have them accept it. But, like, you got to understand, too, some of it's a joke. She's playing a character, too. You can't take everything 100% from her. That's the thing. You know, that's what I love about Madonna, too. She is her own person. You're not going to, as a fan, know her 100%. So like,
yeah, it's meant to be taken with a great deal of irony, that's for sure. On the way out here, I'm going to ask the question, should she do a sequel to the sex book?
Oh my God. I don't know about the book, but I feel like she's like doing sequels with this. I mean, she's still sexually provocative. She's never stopped being sexually, you know, like that, you know. She's always been a sexual person. So I mean, hey.
Kyle and Felix, thank you so much for the retro review of the Erotica album. This has been a really exciting chat because this album, it's magic, and it's really has been lovely to share it with both of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you again for the opportunity.
It was fun.
Have a good day.